We'll try to see the book today, the book
Okay,
you
sir.
are reading, the David
Okay, sir.
Bott's, what is that? Transformer Mission, no? Theology,
Yes.
the
Yes.
paradigm shift, transforming mission.
Hmm.
See, from here, as we do, you can get the idea of how to do a book review, how to read a book.
Hmm. Okay.
And mostly you might be reading, and you might have some different methods. And this is one of the things that it will help you to do. This is what I'm going to do today is a book review
Okay, sir.
on the book that you are reading. And this is a must, a very
Hmm.
important book, as we say. And Oza Ranekub should get one copy.
Hmm.
And when you read this is the way how we should attack a book or
Yeah.
do a review.
Hmm.
So it may give you some idea. And also this is the subject that transforming, the paradigm shift in the
Hmm.
transformation of mission theology. So this is what we have been doing it and discussing from the day one till yesterday. We were discussing the paradigm, the model of mission need to change, and we also discussed why we need to change. We need the change,
Hmm.
and we have discussed quite a lot. And we look into the context, the previous context where the mission definition and understanding has come from, and as the changes of generation after generation, the mission, a traditional understanding of mission has changed. Even definition has been redefined, and we need to keep redefining. This is not one thing that it will continue. The principle may be the same, but methodologies need to be transformed. That is why mission method theology,
Yeah.
the paradigm need to change. That is what we have been looking. Even up till yesterday, we look at the world in which we live, and we have looked at in two sides, two dimensions of the world in which we live. The
Hmm.
other side, it is very, very frightening, and
Hmm.
the other side, it is very much fascinating. And then in the fascinating includes the popular culture, which
Hmm.
is the young people at this generation were attracted into this kind of culture.
Hmm.
And the culture is a no culture, is the culture.
Hmm.
And we have seen that even the people who are attracted to different other things, because we need to be able to contextualize at the same time confrontation. That is where we do
Hmm.
mention yesterday also.
Hmm.
We need to confront our world today. We
Hmm.
don't just go on and keep on saying contextualization, contextualization. Yes, we need contextualization, but there are certain areas we need confrontation. We
Hmm.
need to be able to confront,
Hmm.
and otherwise the people, it will go away from our hand. And we have to be aware of the world in which we live, so that we will be we will be what we call up to date. We will be effective. Otherwise, we will be out of date, outdated.
Hmm.
Will not be up to date.
Hmm.
Angi Babu is joining us now. Okay. So the time you are thinking, I am thinking, and the culture of the young people change already.
Yes,
So
sir.
we are left behind again. So it
Hmm.
is very fascinating, very fast changing. You know, uh, there was in the beginning of 2010 and 11, 12, there was a lot of attraction. Even till today, there is a little bit, Korean movies and Korean lifestyles and all these things, languages. it is, you see, dying out little by little, and we don't know what the next things will. And so there, that is the things that the world is going on. So that is where we were studying, and the need of a shift of our model of mission is where always we look into. So the world is changing, the people are changing. We need to be in context with them in up to that level, but we need to know where to confront. Contextualization simply don't mean that do whatever they do, take whatever their style. There are certain ideologies, certain practice where we need not to be, follow, where we need to confront and give the reason. We said when you confronted it, you need to give the reason why you do what you do. Therefore, we need a lot of information. Yesterday, I asked some people who are not aware of the WY tablets. And, now you know it, right? So we have to be up to that levels of the young people are very crazy after it. And this has been issues in the society. And we are not aware of it, the issues in the society. The young people are facing off. That now the what do we call that, the Korean, the K-pop, the GBTs and other things. You know what is K-pop, right? Ozaraniku.
I don't understand.
K-pop. You don't know. That is the problem. You have to come to my kuli, then you will be knowing little bit of what is the world. You are able to read the news, no? News and other things.
Yeah.
Or you are locked up in that your what is your village called?
Tura Mission Compound.
Tura is a city, sir. Not. It's a town.
Oh, he's in a town. The last of the town or the head of the village, like kind of this.
So two is in the middle, sir.
In the middle. Oh.
Yeah.
So you get all the news, channel of the news. Even you get your mobile. There is now newspaper is less, but you got your mobile, smartphone, and you get all the world what is going on. That is what all of us. No, we don't claim that we know everything, but what is the issue now? Yeah, nowadays people are struggling, facing, attracted. All these things are need to be. And if you don't know K-pop, somebody you need to. Where is this Zoni party? Are you there? Oh yeah, you were there. I didn't see you because my screen is now small because I posted. What is K-pop?
K-pop is a Korean from Korean pop song that they sing from South Korea country. This is called K-pop.
Okay. At least you know that the Korean, no, not the song. It is K-pop is Korean pop, the pop stars. The pop stars, those are their group of groups. All are groups. GBT is there, the other group is there, and all together, all the Korean pop stars are called that's K-pop. Yeah. See, pastor or what a missionary Rana could see. The young people are just aware of it. At least they got it. At least they get the smell of it. See, that is where we have to be. Exactly amongst us also is there. The young people are in different world context, and we are in different contexts. You see, then there is a gap in between it. Where is the paradigm shift? That is where among us also we need that. Get to be aware of it. That is what we are trying, all of us. We don't claim we know everything, but these are the disease. These are the drug. These are the culture. These are the things that the young people nowadays are going on. And you are preaching to them, you are out of context. And you are telling them that nothing it matches in their mind. So that is why the paradigm, your own paradigm, my own paradigm need to change. Not just don't think about the only lesson we are learning. Our own situation of our own paradigm change. Come out of your own that your own, what is the well, you know, come out of it, or at least that you can get in touch with the world with the small devices. Make use of it. This is what I'm saying for the sake of some people, and of course all of us are reminded of it. All right, so today I wanted to do, I plan to do in the last, but since we are reading the book, The Paradigm Shift of the Mission Theology, David Boat's book, is where I wanted to explain. In that we explain also the paradigm shift. This is how book review you should be doing it. Okay. After some time, or even the next module or the next semester, not semester, the next module, who knows, some professor will give you to do a book review. And if God willing, we meet together, this time I'm not giving you any book review. I'll give you the next, if you know, I happen to be coming again to you, and then you do the book review. This is where you do the book review, right? And then, so the title of the book is Transforming Mission, Paradigm Shift in Theology of Mission. That is the book. You said some of you have in the soft copy, some of you have hard copy. You must try to have whether in soft or hard. So what is the book review we should do is, this book shall be presented in 4 parts. Every book may not necessarily be 4 parts. Some book may be even 6 parts or 3 parts. Depend upon the issue that we're dealing with. Okay? Here, I presented into 3 pieces. The first is introduction and the statement of the author's intention for writing the book. The first part is introduction and the statement of the author's intention. Okay. Keep in mind this, whenever you do a book review, you have to do the first thing is the book's author's intention and the statements. Second part, summary shall be presented about the major insight presented in the book, the major point, the major issues that are present in the book. So you have to summarize it. Not all the things that you copy and write it, but you summarize. Summary shall be presented about the major insight present in the book. The third shall be, it shall present that some comment and reaction that I had about the authors and writing of that book. So the third part is, you should present some comment and present your reaction of the book, about the book, of the author's intention of writing this. All right. So that was also, I am saying that in your article critics and analyze, you use these points. Use these points. You present and comment the reaction, the inside of the article, as well as your reaction of this. Agree or disagree, that reaction. Appreciate or not appreciate, anything, that reaction. And the last one is concluding part. Of course, it is the concluding part, is the last point. So in any book review, you have to do these parts. It may be 4 part or the 5th or the 6th part according to the book and the issues they were dealing with. Stewart is joining now. Okay. So then, I said I shall present my evaluation about the book in review. Book review I am presenting, as well as my own opinion and understanding of the mission as influenced by my reading of this book. That is what the conclusion part, concluding part. Okay. First part. Okay. The first part is introduction and the author's intention. After this, you will be able to get the book. When you read, it will help you to understand more of the book. I hope you are reading that book, not just having read, right? Not just having read it. Don't just to keep in your bookshelves and a nice book decorated and you collected a good books. Read it. The first and foremost thing that is important to our analysis of this book is our understanding of why the book is entitled as such as the Transforming Mission, Paradigm Shift in the Theology of Mission. How and why this book is titled? What message does the book title Transforming Mission want to imply? What message this book, this title of the book want to imply? That is where thinking started. That you have to practice thinking. We should do that after this. If there is a library here with us, all of you, we should practice this. You practice this even in your article things. So what message does the book title Transforming Mission want to imply? What actually message want to imply here? So the title of the book is ambiguous. At one instance, you look at it's very ambiguous, transforming. And then it can be used as an adjective to describe the mission. You forgot your noun and pronounce adjective word, I don't know. Your grammar, some of you may forget because we are masters, so we forgot the 5th standard, 3rd standard. One time in the school, you know, the 4th standard, the teacher was teaching about the what do we call these nouns, you know, nouns, pronouns, verb, adverb, all exactly he was teaching. And explaining what is noun. Noun is, I am tempted to ask some of you, among you, what is noun, but then let me not embarrass some of you so much.
You all know now,
Yes,
sir.
you all know, no?
Yes, sir.
You may know, but who knows? Some has forgotten. I don't want to embarrass in front of everybody that I forgot, sir, all these things. If you all know, that is fine. I'm tempted to ask. If it is classroom here, no, we will do very good, a good time with this. Is it noun? The noun is, that you are the one who said we all know, no?
Yes, sir.
Yeah. But I am doubting all of you, I'm doubting. But then let me be very gracious and not to embarrass anyone. The noun is what? You tell me. The name of a person, a thing, or a place, right?
Yes.
Yes, sir.
So save everyone. It's a name. It's a naming. Noun is a naming. Person's name or thing's name or a place name. So the teacher asked in the class, this is a noun. Noun is the name of a person or an animal or things or a place. So she asked one boy, hey you, stand up and tell what is the noun. Give what is the definition of noun. And the boy stood up and said, ma'am, a noun is a name of a person or an animal. Okay, very good. Sit down. The next boy, you stand up and give an example of a noun. And then the boy said, noun is a name of a person, animal. So it is dog, ma'am. Dog. Dog is a noun. Yes. Very good. Dog is a noun. And she asked the next one, you also give another example. Then the boy stood up very, very enthusiastic, very interesting. He stood up and said, ma'am, another dog.
Sure.
Another example is another dog. So that is how it goes. And we forgot sometime what is our noun. Our English we forgot. That is why if you do the Greek, you have to learn the English. Anyway, refresh. At least buy a grammar book also. It is just personal gain. 10 standard, 9 standard grammar book, you keep it with you. Sometime, we are still learning. We don't know everything. I forgot all the grammars and the Greek words. All right. So the transforming can be used as an adjective describing the mission. You got that sentence meaning, right? It can be used as an adjective. It can be defining, describing that mission. That it is not the mission, but it is describing the mission. So in this case, mission is understood as an enterprise that transforms reality. Mission is understood as an enterprise that transforms the reality. On the other hand, transforming can be, however, also be present participle. The activity of transforming, of which mission is the object. Mission become an object, and then transforming become as a participle, or the activity of transforming. Okay, transforming become as an activity, which mission become an object. All right. The verb, the adjective, the participle, all things can be there in this transforming. So the mission become object. Keep it the mission as an object. Mission is not the verb or not the adjective. Nothing. Just keep it as a noun, as an object. But transforming is the verb, adjective. So therefore, the naming itself, even though at once it sounds like ambiguous, but you can use it as an adjective describing the mission. And then here the transforming become participle and the mission become an object. Object become. Then you get the meaning of transforming mission. The title of the book, Analyze. As we said, here mission is not the enterprise that transform the reality. Mission is not the enterprise that transform reality, but something that itself is transformed. But mission is that something which itself is transforming. All right. So you see the analysis of the title of the book. The mission is object. Transforming is the adjective. So it transforms the mission. Mission is not the enterprise, but the mission becomes something that itself is transformed. That is why transforming mission. Okay, part 1. Let us continue. The author relates that he at first has misgiving about the using of the title of this book. However, after thoroughly evaluation and discussion with all of his friends, finally decided to use this book title as it is. Because as we said, it has very, very accurate, appropriate to name it. When mission become not itself enterprise, but the object which become transformed. So therefore, finally, the title has been accepted, or he continued to use this title after discussing and, you know, evaluating quite a lot with other friends. So I may say that it is aptly titled, very aptly titled, because the ambiguity of the book title in fact reflects the subject matter of the book very accurately, using the idea of paradigm shift. So the subject and the object, the transforming and the mission, the subject and the object. And therefore it is very, very appropriate to use the transforming mission, need the paradigm, need a shift. So David Bote's attempt to demonstrate to the extent that in which understanding and practice of mission have changed during the almost 20 centuries of Christian missionary history. So therefore, he put it down, he demonstrated. David Bote is demonstrating in his book that almost during the 20 centuries, Christian missionary, in the history of Christian missionary, the practice of mission and has been changed, is what he wanted to prove. So it is changing. So the author's main thesis is that the process of transformation has not come to an end, and in fact, never come to an end. The thesis is, in his main thesis is, the process of transformation is not come to an end. It is not going to be perfect and end here. But in fact, it never come to an end. So we are carrying it out continuously. The author further suggests that we are at a time and a place of one of the most important shifts in the understanding and practice of Christian mission. So the author also points out and gives us this message that, what he's saying, we are at the right time. Our time and place is one of the most important time and place where this mission, transforming mission, paradigm shift of the mission that we practice, the practice of Christian mission need to be shifted. This is our time. The time is very correct and the place is very correct. More important and most important. That is shifting taking place. In our understanding need to be shifted and our practice of Christian mission need to be shifted. Okay, our understanding of Christian mission need to be shifted. Our practice of Christian mission need to be shifted. The model, the paradigm need to be shifted. So therefore I am saying, once again, in applying of those little example amongst us, even the variation of that understanding of coping up with the situation right now. So it is the author's intention to convey the message that mission remains as an indispensable dimension of the Christian faith, and that at its most profound level. Its purpose is to transform the reality around it. The mission remains, the dimension of Christian faith remain indispensable. But the most profound level, the purpose of transforming reality of the around us needs to be understood. That need to be changed. So that is the part 1 introduction I am making. The part 2 summary of the book. Summary of the book is to set the background for the major theme that is being discussed in the book. David Bote introduced the book with an interim definition of mission. And there are 13 elements in his definition. Okay. He tried to introduce to us, or in fact he introduces very interim definition of mission in this book, in his book. And there are 13 of it as I go through. Let us see those 13, the 13 elements he points out. This is where when you read an article or a book, you need to find out what are the issues, what are the theses, what are their interim points that the author is making. Okay, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 points. So when you see the point, then you have your own reaction to the points and your comment on the point. That is where your analysis is. So the 13 elements are: The Christian faith is intrinsically missionary. By its very nature, it is a missionary nature. Christian faith itself, by its nature, it's a missionary. That is one element. So simply meaning we all Christians are a missionary. The church is a missionary. So the nature of the church should be a missionary, and it is a missionary. Just like the fire. If you put the fire, it consumes. The fire consumes, the fire burns. The nature of fire is to burn. Anything you put, the paper or the stick or any other thing you throw in the fire, it burns. That is what the nature of the fire is. So also the nature of the church is a missionary. That is what his point is. The Christian faith intrinsically is a missionary by its very nature. So I hope you got it. But then now you look at our churches. Are we a missionary in nature? And we have some kind of, we have changed in such a way that missionary is only the missionaries and evangelists are missionaries. And what about all the church members? We are not missionaries. Forget about the member. All the church supposed to be, by its nature, missionary. Just like fire nature is to burn. So the church nature is a missionary. That is what the church is supposed to be. But our churches today, you look at and you understand it. Nobody need to tell us. We are part of it. And therefore we know it, how the church's position is now. Missiology is not neutral or disinterested enterprise. Missiology is not neutral. It is not optional subject like in the school, you have optional subject. If you cannot handle this subject, you have another you have opted another language. It is not optional subject or disintegrated enterprise. But this is viewed as the world from the point of Christian theology. It is views the world from the standpoint of Christian theology. Okay? From this point, the world is looked into. Which point? From missiological point of view, you look at the world. Therefore, missiology is not an optional. It is not a disintegrated enterprise. It is by nature, and all Christian theology is looking at the world. Ultimately, mission remains indefinable. It must be continuously researched. And the most that can be done is to formulate some approximation of what mission is all about. So as time goes, time to time, as generation by generation, that we need to revisit, as we have mentioned in some point of our classes, and it can be done. It is to formulate some approximation and of what mission is all about. Today, what our mission need to do, the 19th century and the other following centuries, the mission has been done this way. The patterns and the paradigm is this way. And today, how we need to be done, this approximation of the changing shift need to be done. This is one of the elements he points out by the author. And number 4, a necessary foundation for mission lies in God's self-communication in Christ. This also he points out, that the necessary foundation of mission is based on God himself communicating to us in Christ Jesus. Incarnational, that communication in Christ is what David Boats is mentioning in his fourth element of his book. The mission foundation itself is based on, foundation is laid on God's self-communication. God is a communicator. He is a good communicator, and he communicated to us in Christ. Last time our brother has said that revelation, special revelation and general revelation, God is communicating us in that revelation. And in Christ he communicated us. That is the foundation of our Christian mission. And that is what another point. And the fifth point, he says, the Bible does not give us a set of unchangeable laws of mission, but mission is an ambivalent enterprise which remained an act of faith. Now you got it. The Bible does not give us a set of unchangeable laws of mission. Just like some people think that mission is unchangeable, because it is, some people based on the Bible, Matthew 28, 18 to 20, 19 says that go therefore make disciples. This is unchangeable. The principle may remain the same, but the enterprise remain, that because the mission is the act of your faith. The act of your faith. So it has to be how you act according to the situation there, the context and generation, the action, the mentality, the worldview. The worldview, we should be looking at the worldview though, but maybe it will come as it goes around the module. So that is where the worldview of the people today and the worldview of the people of a different times and different people is changing. Therefore, mission is ambivalent enterprise which remain an act of faith, your act of faith. The act of faith can be demonstrated according to the context of the people understanding. So the Bible is not giving us, you cannot change the act of your faith. There is no set of rules, set of law. This is your faith. Demonstrate your faith. When you demonstrate your faith, it may be different from the Naga, among the Nagas, and to the other people of the people group of the other states. The South Indian, set of laws and methods of mission cannot be applied here totally in the northeastern part. So therefore, this is where your act of faith, your demonstration of your faith may vary different places and different culture. But it is not a set of law is given. There is no law that you should wear lungi wherever you go. No. You should put the coconut oil everywhere you go. No. Or it doesn't reverse it. You should not. You should put a half pen or jean and t-shirt everywhere you go. No. And also, even when you go to the young people, the youth, different set of demonstration of your faith than the older people. They see this itself is the good example. So David Boats is mentioned in his fifth element of the point that mission, Bible is not giving us unchangeable law of how to express your faith, but it is the expression of your faith, your act of faith. Therefore, act of faith can be in various situations. Now, number 6, the entire Christian existence is a missionary existence. Yes, this has correspond in the first some point that the entire Christian existence. Why are we exist here on this earth? Why? Our existence is a missionary existence. I don't know whether you have thought of these things very seriously, and we need to convey this into teach in our churches, that the church itself is by nature a missionary. So the entire Christian existence is a missionary existence. Why we live on this earth as a Christian? It is to be a missionary. Everyone, in one way or the other, we are. And there is another way of saying that full-time ministry and part-time ministry. I don't know. We may need to discuss this, depend upon how we perceive on this. But according to me, in general, all of us are full-time. If you are a Christian, you are a full-time missionary. Right.
Yes.
Whether you work in a secular office, in a high school, or in the office, or anywhere else, if you are a good Christian, and you are a missionary. I have seen, at least in my family circle and a family friends, government officers, high post government officer, they have a high position in the government, Indian government service, okay? Indian civil services level of that, high post. I will not mention the name, but these are the related. One is, of course, our family related, and the other one is also our family friend. And these two officers are really, I really appreciate, and they challenged me quite a lot. And I used to mention sometime in my preaching. Even though they are in the civil office services, no corruption has damaged their life. They have not allowed any corruption, bribing, you know. You can bribe. So much of under-table money things are going on, bribe. These officers rejected the bribe. They are known for that. One of the person has withdrawn at least 4 lakh rupees. Okay, 4 lakh rupees. And the other friend is asking, why so much money? Are you constructing a house or something? 4 lakhs, what are you going to do that? Actually, he came back and then he took it. After 3-4 days, he just come back and returned to the bank. Oh, you didn't use, or you use it? How so soon you have returned back the 4 lakh? Within 3 days. Then he said, I was trying to bribe that officer. He was trying to get some job for their relatives. You know, I was trying to give so that he will give the job to that our child. But then I heard that this officer will not take a bribe, rather he will scold you. That is why I return it back the money to the bank. That is what I am saying. The Christian, but the good civil service officers, they never. And they take the Bible. They memorize the Bible. They preach. They share their testimony. You see, they are in the civil service officer, but they are full-time Christian, a full-time missionary. They can share witnessing for Christ among their colleagues, among the officers. They never stop witnessing. Whether they convert or not is different thing. That is where my point is, that all Christians, a good Christian, if we are existing, why we are existing is for a missionary existence. We are supposed to be. I think all our churches, we need to train them. We need to teach them this is what the church is supposed to be. All believers. Not only they look at us as a missionary appointed, but all of us. So therefore, all of us are full-time if you are Christian. See, the first century, first and second, even the third century, first century, most of all, those Christians are nobody paid. And all Christians are all missionaries. Nobody is such a sending missionary. Everyone church member are witness for Christ. So that is where our entire Christian existence is a missionary existence. Our David Boats is saying that. 7 point. Theologically speaking, foreign mission caught within is not a separate entity to home missions. Both are grounded in the gospel. Of course, you can name that the foreign missions and the home-based mission, all these things. If you are running an office, in order to find out the file easily, you can have this foreign mission, home-based mission, department, but then there is nothing as such differences in existence. Both are grounded in the gospel. Foreign mission is the missionaries, and home-based missions are not missionaries, not that. So David Boats is mentioning that theologically speaking, foreign mission is not separated and separate entity to home missions. Both are grounded in the gospel. Number 8, mission, singular. Did I ask you this or not in the beginning? Missions and mission, singular and plural, must be distinguished from missions, S, plural. Okay? Mission, singular, missions, plural. So the mission must be distinguished from missions. Mission is God's mission. What? Missio Dei, the Latin word, the Missio Dei. And missions are particular forms of participation in God's mission or missionary venture of the church. Missions ecclesia, missionae ecclesia, right? So now these are the two different. Singular mission is God's mission, and the missions, the plural, is the church participation in different activities for mission. Some of you have said that. So make it this, take it as a new information for some, that what is the difference of mission and missions. So David Boats in his book as an 8-element point clearly mentioned this. And number 9, the missionary task is coherent, broad and deep. It includes the whole set of needs and aspects of human life. If God willing, we will do the holistic mission, there we will mention this. But David Boats is mentioning, just highlighting the element, the point I am highlighting what he mentioned. So the missionary work is coherent, very broad and deep. It includes the whole set of the needs and aspects of human life. You see, the whole set of needs. The whole set of needs. It is not only physical and spiritual. Last time some of you have said that what is holistic mission, and then who was that? Pome said. Pom. What did you say? Do you remember? Johnny Pati, where are you? Are you there? Or am I talking simply?
I'm there.
Okay. So, where is sister, that the sister poem?
Yes, here.
Okay, what did you say? Did you remember when I said that what is the holistic mission? Your answer. Repeat the answer. You already said once. So can you repeat that?
Holistic mission.
Yes.
That is focusing spiritually as well as physically.
Okay. Focusing spiritual and physical. That is what yeah, I remember that. You also remember. But then this holistic mission, what David Boats is mentioning, we will do it if God willing, the holistic mission. It is not only physical and spiritual. The whole set of needs of human life, aspect of human life. the whole set of needs and aspect of human life. So now this is a definition of your holistic mission. What is a holistic mission? In holistic mission include the whole set of needs and aspect of human life. Okay, that is a very good definition of the holistic mission. Not only two, spiritual and physical. And when it is that the spiritual and the physical and the aspects of human life, the whole set, that is what the whole set means, the whole set. So very good. That is where our the book, if you read now after I am explaining all these things, you read it, you will understand more easily. So David Boss is mentioning that missionary work is very coherent, it is broad and deep, and it includes the whole set of human aspects of life. Number 10, mission is therefore God's yes to the world as an expression of the Christian solidarity with society. Yes, God's yes to the world as an expression of Christian solidarity with society. Okay? So mission is God saying yes to the world, and the Christians are there for the society. So what we now is very much ulta is coming out. This worries me, is my concern. In the 1st, 2nd, 3rd century, what happened was that the church and all the church people, the church means the believers, the church was among the society, in the political realm, in the government, outside. But today, the outside politics is coming inside the church. That is the danger. Very dangerous. In the 1st century, church is outside in the world. You know, making the world purifying, witnessing to the world and changing the world corruption. But now, the world corruption is getting inside the church, corrupting the church, dividing the church. It's very bad. So how are we going to return into that 1st century shape of the church? Because our Christians are not influential nowadays, because we are very shallow. I'm telling you, this is very bad. Whenever I have the counseling for the young people or even the church for camp, like a camp and crusade, this is what makes me upset. And therefore I strongly had to speak that what are Christians today? Because they are very nominal. Therefore, the world outside is they are bringing into the church. The church is not able to affect outside world. The outside world is affecting the church inside. So it is corrupting. If the church goes out and then purifies the world, but now the world is coming inside and corrupting the church. So let us do this. Keep in mind, we need to, we need to bring the paradigm shift in our doing mission. Then only we can be able to affect the world, bring some changes in the world. Our studies, our Bible college, curriculums, degrees should have an impact to the world as we graduate. That is what my aims and objects and dream is. I want to start one church. If nothing I can do, I will start one group church, disciple ourselves, You want to join or not? Or all of us?
Yeah, we will support you, sir.
We will be supporting.
Thank you very much. Because we want to bring back that missionary activity, expression, and life of the 1st century Christians. That is why last time I asked you, are you born Christian or born again Christian? Many are born Christian, not born again Christian. So in that case, how can we salt the earth? In Matthew chapter 5, verse 13, you are the salt of the earth, We are not being able to salt the earth. Okay, let us go on. That is what our David Boat's book has mentioned. He has mentioned in his book that this is the world. Number 11. The element 11 is the mission includes evangelism as one of its crucial elements. Evangelism is one of the elements in a mission. It is one crucial part of a mission, which is called evangelism. Okay? That also in his book. When you read, you try to keep this in mind and read and see what he says. More explanation you will find there. Mission includes evangelism as one of its crucial elements. Mission is also God's no to the world. What is that? Point number 12. Point number 10, mission is therefore God's yes to the world, and then also mission is also God's no to the world, and as an expression of our position to the engagement with the world. So it simply means you and I are not compromising with the standard of the world. Our position, okay? We express our position and we don't compromise into the world to an engagement with the world. Our position to the world. As we engage involving in our mission, as live in our life as a missionary, as a believers in this world, we don't compromise. Therefore, there is a no also. That is why yesterday we studied contextualization, but confrontation also is there. So it is a very correspondent with this. And now the last point, number 13, the church in mission may be described in terms of sacrament and sign. It is a sign in the sense of pointer or symbol or a signboard. It is a sacrament in the sense of mediator, representation, or anticipation. So in the book you will find the church as a missionary, it is the signboard that the world, the people will read and see where are they going, so that they will not take the wrong road. The church is the signboard. When they look at the church, when they look at the missionaries, they should be able to see the right ways, the correct way, not the wrong way. Today's language, we can say we are the, what do we call? GPA, We are the GPA. We are the map road, global map road, for the other people to see where they should go and get their correct destination. They will not be lost. The world is lost in confusion, lost in sin. You know it as a missionary language. The world is lost in sin. People are lost in sin. They don't know which direction they are going. What is their aims and objectives? What is their destination in the world? Because of that, the church is supposed to be a signboard directing that this is the way. This is the road. This is the way to go. That's the church is supposed to be a signboard, a pointer, a symbol, or a model. Okay?
Yes, sir.
So, can you mute? Your voice is heard so much. Where is that? It is not in my line. So that is the 13 elements, my friend. As you read the book, let me quickly say, a Christian faith is, Missiology is not an optional subject. It is the requirement. And mission remains indefiable. Where are their destiny? Their destiny is so we are to be that system positioning mission. You know, system positioning mission is the church. We are not doing our duty. What are we doing? I don't know. That is what we need to set up a church, make it those correct positioning to the world. I am dreaming that we have a church like that. Every believers are all into that position. That will be nice to see. Maybe only 30 people, 40 people, we don't know, but then all are disciples, like, you know, in the language, our language. Christians are all missionaries. No compromising to the world, but positioning the world into the correct system of their eternal destination. Very good. That is where the book is, my friends. And as you read it, I hope it will help you how to do it. Part up to second part, I said, right?
Yes, sir.
Reviewing the book. Now the third part. We have little time. The third part of the book is comment. Your comment, your reaction to the author's this thing, whatever the issues and the point that he has made. So practice this method, okay? This is the only things I am teaching you practically, how to review, how to analyze articles or a book. And also this is very important, this book is our main textbook, so therefore. So comments about the books or about the author, and I said here, after reading and studying the book, I should say that I have grasped a holistic view of mission. You see? I learned a new lesson after reading this about the holistic mission. View of holistic mission. What is holistic? I also thought spiritual and physical, but then is the whole element of human existence. His many years of service on the field as a missionary. He was a missionary. David Boss was a missionary in some part of the African country. And he coupled with his extensive theological training, gave him many valuable insights into his subject matter. So his many years of missionary experience and his theological training, degrees and studies, both coupled with it, put together, he gave a lot of valuable insight on this book and the matter he was dealing. Okay. David Boats is a theologian, is a doctorate in Old Testament. These riches in knowledge and experience is what we share with his readers, in order that we might have a holistic grasp of what mission is all about. So this is comment we are giving. His theological training, education, and his missionary experience put together have a lot of valuable insight on this matter. This matter, this experience, practical experience, and also the knowledge, theological knowledge, we are now sharing as we read his book, in order to understand and have the holistic view. And what is the holistic mission all about? So this book's importance goes beyond the award in citation. It has received as one of the 15 outstanding book on 1991 for mission studies. Is one of the outstanding book, okay? One of the outstanding book for mission studies. And he received the award for this, for outstanding book. It is not simple book as you and I think. So Gerard Anderson said that transforming mission is a class by itself. It's world class, we say, no? It has become a standard reference in studies of the Christian World Mission, perhaps the most widely used textbook in mission courses. His book is widely used textbook in mission studies. David Boat's The Powerful Work has indeed become his enduring legacy to all who seek to understand, to serve, and to spread the cause of Christ in the world. This book is a powerful book, has become one of the legacy as we all try to understand, as we all try to serve, and as we all try to spread the gospel of Jesus Christ in the world. So this book has been powerful. It gives us the shift on theological methodology and other things. Through this book, Boat's contribution and influence in mission studies become globally immense. One thing I appreciate about this book is that David Boat has not only brought profound biblical insight to his missiology, but in addition to this, he also showed the great depth of historical anthropological knowledge. If you read that, you will see this. Not only the biblical insight of missiology, but very, very historical and anthropological also is put in there. So very rich. Many, many valuable things. Being a mission anthropology, I really am benefited and appreciate. His research and cross references were so extensive that made me admire the depth, extends the comprehensive of his scholarly work. Is a very scholarly work also. Though the book is very dense and could be described as a slow reading material, I've also noticed that Boat is also a writer who can be skimmed well. He is a writer, he plan and make a scheme system well. His writing is very structured, allowing more casual readers to skim through some of the more dense sections without losing important content, while still being able to converse with the more academic reader, so pays careful attention to the details of as well. So mostly what is there is, even though it is very, very thick, a lot of informations are put in, but even though it is a lot of scholarly writing, lot of materials are put in, theory, practical, missionary, practical, theoretical, theological, everything put together, but you will be reading this material and you will be enjoying and you will not get lost because he systematically arranged. He skimmed very well. So anybody who reads, you will be paying the attention and you to all the detail as well. In such a way it will catch you up. But the most important of all is that as a writer is very clear and definitive in his assertion, and he makes sure that he leaves his readers with many words of challenges to the church today with regards to his activity or inactivity, as it's often in the case. Indeed, this book is a cornerstone for studies in missional theology today. All right. He gives a thorough analysis of Christian mission movement throughout history. He's also very history covered about vast, starting from biblical foundation for mission and moving through 6 paradigms he identified throughout history. See, the 6 steps he identified throughout in history that paradigm changes. So, and finally, he gives a proposition towards a relevant missiology for our contemporary time. So he didn't just give, for us to understand, he has covered a vast area, a period of history, Christian movement, and then started from the biblical theology to the Christian history, at least a 6 point, 6 paradigm, he covered it up. And then throughout the history, finally he gave us the preposition, very relevant missiology for our time today, contemporary time. For today also, it will give you, it will just open as if you are going to get it, the new paradigm. Such a way he clear it up the way and open the door, and you get in, you will get it. Something like that. It is not denying the fact that this book has been highly acclaimed and it's recognized as a monumental magisterial work, a supra teaching tool. Okay. Transforming Mission is a mighty work which deserves to be read not only by the pastors and theologians and missionaries, but it should be read by all who are thinking and planning in any area of a church mission. For anyone who takes mission seriously in the church, this is the must-read book. For any missionaries, the church itself is a missionary church, should read this book. That is what the command that. Finish. Now I want to share with this. Okay, now I got it. I will share this one again. Up to the third I share, this is the fourth one, part number 4. So I determined that we should finish this book review. I said 4, introduction and first part, there's introduction, second and third, this is the 4th part, conclusion. After reading the book, here are some of the major insight and challenges that I have gained. Number 1, I was enlightened as the fact that over the 2000 years history of Christian faith, Christians from within their own context have wrestled with the questions of what the Christian faith and the Christian mission meant to them. Okay? So the first major insight that challenges me as I read this book, after I comment the point, I find out the comment, his point, right? I introduce the book and I go to the elements of 13 points that I found, and that are just point. I explain little bit each of that, and then I make my comment on the point, and after that this is the conclusion. So the major insight challenge that I have is that thousands years, many years of Christian faith, what Christian from our own context we struggle with. And the question is that what the Christian faith and the Christian mission is meant to us. What is that Christian mission, Christian faith? 2 things, okay? Christian mission and Christian faith, what does it mean to us now as a church? You ask your churches and sit and let us see our churches. What is the meaning? What does it mean to them when we say Christian faith? What does it mean to them? And what is Christian mission to them? What does it mean? Is there any meaning it has for them as a believer? Christian faith has any meaning to them? Only for you and me as a theologians, or only missionaries they have a meaning on this? This is the challenge I gain through this book. They also believe their understanding was objectively accurate and effective. The only authentic rendering of Christianity. This then served as a warning that such an attitude is a dangerous illusion. It is an illusion to believe that we can penetrate and to a pure gospel unaffected by any culture and any other human aggression. So this idea that we need to go to the culture or a belief system, then we need to penetrate it. So that is aggressive approach last time we find. So it is unaffected pure gospel. No. We had to be contextualized. You remember that. Contextualize. Struggle with. What does it mean there? And I'm also inspired with the author's engagement for us to live a humanity concerning our ability to properly interpret the gospel for our age group. In this age, while we are also living. So we should be able to interpret meaningfully to the people of our age, our generation. This is encouragement from the author we receive as we read the book. The book challenges us that we should be able to interpret the gospel to our own generation. So if you don't know what is GPS, if you don't know what is K-pop, if you don't know what is WY, then you are not going to be context. I'm telling you. All right? Open our eyes. So David Post sees the mistake of the past as the church's faithful attempt to interpret the gospel for their own time. He recognized the mistakes when he studied the history in the past. What the church was faithfully trying, faithfully attempting to interpret the gospel in their own context, in their own time, but there were mistakes, he recognized it. And so also, from the mistake we should learn now as we present, we should not repeat the mistakes. So he sees this as the church being incarnational and calls us not to lament the past failure of Christianity. So even though there is a mistake, there was a mistake in the past by the church, we should not be crying and mourning on the past mistakes. So he encourages us not to be lamenting on the past of Christian failure, but learn from the failure. In fact, it embodies the inherent feature of the Christian faith since it concerns the word made flesh. Do you know where it is written? The word made flesh. I am asking Ozaranakum Sato. The word made flesh, where it is written?
John 1:14, sir.
Oh, very good. Yeah. So the word made flesh is what that Christian faith since it concerns. Secondly, I am in agreement. I agree with the David Boats what indeed he says. We live in the world fundamentally different from that of the 19th century. We agree. I agree. We all agree that. So you have to say, I agree with this. He says that our lives, today's the world we live is different from the 19th century. So let alone earlier time be earlier. The past is the past, as we said. Learn from the mistake the first time I said. So the new situation we are in, the new world system, the new fashion, the new young generation mentality, everything, context and situation challenges us across the world. And it challenges us to be able to appropriate with as we respond to it. So it challenges us to be appropriate and as you respond to your own world, own generation. However, we must realize that magnitude of today's challenge can really only be appreciated if we view against the backdrop of almost 20th century of the church history. So we should not leave that history. Then only we learn to take a step as we face the challenges today. The challenges are quite huge challenges. And so we need to be prospective in the past in order to appreciate the scope of the present challenges and to be able to rely to understand the world today. The world today we need to understand. simply means the young people, that generation we need to understand today. So like the Israelite who needed to remind themselves in every period of crisis that their deliverance from Egypt, their wandering in the wilderness and their covenant with God, Israelites were keep reminding, kept reminding. In the Bible you read that. Whenever it talks about Israelite, remember that from Egypt how the Lord has delivered you. Remember that you are wandering in the wilderness. Remember your covenant with God. So it keep reminding them. So therefore we also as a church today, the 21st century, the post-modern era, let us keep remind the 20th century and the 19th century and 16th century of the Christian history. Let us remind that how we come, how we began, how it began, all the church. What were the church in those eras and facing what are the things and what are we facing now? So it is good to remind ourselves. We do need to remind of our roots, not only in order that we may have consolation, but even more than that, we may find direction. You see, why we have to remind ourselves our root, where do we come from, how does it, the church has come out of all those things. It is not to have the consolation, comfort and other things, but moreover, to find a right direction so that we will not mistake, we will not fall into the pit. As David Bose has given us formulable picture of the past, present and future of mission. He does not hide the mistake of the past and the difficulties of the present as well. So it should not be, what do we call, the pessimistic, but we should be optimistic. We should not be fearful because of the past history and the failures and all these things, but we should be the future, be optimistic. The author believed, as we also believe, that the power of the gospel for the last and the least and the lost. The power of the gospel is like in Romans, Paul says that I am not ashamed to the gospel of Christ because it is the power of God into salvation. So we should not be ashamed and remind ourselves this is the power. For the last, for the least, and for the lost. 3L. For the last, for the least, and for the lost. Is the power of the gospel. So finally, as theologians and the church ministers, living in this contemporary time, right now in this age, this book reminds us that we are challenged to practice a transformational hermeneutics and a theological response which transforms us first transform us before we involve in transforming the world. Thank you very much.
Thank you, sir. Thank you.